we're coming to the end of 2024, and there's been some big movements in the Pokemon market recently to close out the year, especially in the single card market when it comes to things like Sword and Shield and even Scarlet and Violet era. There's been some real big shifts with the top end cards, like the real big heavy hitters have been making some serious gains. So today we'll be looking at the biggest market shakeups to close out 2024. There's been some big ones, so let's get into it. We're going into TCG Player, which is the first one. All right, we're going into the biggest movers and shakers of the week. We haven't done them for a few weeks, so it's going to be interesting to see what's been going on. So we've got a few of these to go through today. We're going to be seeing which ones have been moving, because there has been some really, really big ones making some serious moves. So starting things off, we have the Milotic EXSIR. This one is an incredible card. We've actually pulled it twice now on the live streams from Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks has been making some serious movements, right? Not only in the Silk product, but the single cards, right? Of course, we know about the chonkachu, well, twerkachu, going all the way up to $600. Then it went down to around about $430, $440, and now it's starting to go back up towards $500. That is not the main thing. The main thing is this special illustration rares in the set, right? Obviously, we've got the Milotic here, but we've also seen movements in the Hydreigon. We've seen movements in the Golden Pikachu as well, which has done pretty well, and the Latias. So pretty much across the board, we're looking at a lot of cards making moves, which is pretty impressive. So let's take a look at the chart here for the Milotic. We're looking at $142. That's a big money card. I mean, most sets don't even have cards that are over $100. So the fact is here we have a card that is $140 and it is not the biggest card in the set. Shows how good Surging Sparks is. Now when we look at the overall picture of the Scarlet and Violet era, there have been few sets that have cards over $100, right? We have Paldean Evolved, which has the Magikarp over $100. We also then have Paldean Fates, which has the Charizard and the Mew that's over $100. Temporal, I believe the Raging Bolt is now over $100, but Paradox Rift doesn't have any over $100, right? Stellar Crown doesn't anymore. Obsidian doesn't. Base Set doesn't. Twilight Masquerade does. Shrouded Fable doesn't. 151 does. So it's kind of like a 50-50 mix of how many sets at the moment have cards over 100, right? And most of those sets maybe have one or two cards over 100. Surging Sparks has quite a few. So it's tough to pull them, right? Like I said, we've been kind of lucky that we have pulled near enough every single top card in the set on the stream. We've pulled the Pikachu, we've pulled two Milotics, we've pulled the Hydreigon, we've pulled the Golden Pika. We just haven't got the Latias. That's the only one we have yet to get, right? But this one's doing well, 142. This is the thing, Surging Spark booster packs, as well as booster boxes, have gotten so expensive for a set that's so new that I do expect these cards to hold because they have tough pull rates as well. Even, when we get a reprint down the line, yeah, the cards may drop a bit, depending on the size of the reprint, but they also might climb. So keep an eye on the Milotic. It is still my chase card of the set, but it is an absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. And obviously it talks through about obviously the Pikachu being like the highest after debuting the Milotic around $100 and then dipping as low as 80 by mid-November, and then it's been on a tear since. So it dipped to 80 and then it's pushing its way up towards that 150. Keep an eye on this one in the future. Speaking of Surging Sparks, Latias EX is next. I was kind of lucky that I did manage to get this for a whopping £9. Yeah, I managed to pick this up for £9 from a one-pack Magic. I went into a break and I did it was one of these rip to your hits and whatnot. First pack Magic, £9, bang, got the Latias. Incredible. I just need the Latios now and then the two of them together, perfect. And I will send them off to get graded. Hopefully they get 10s because that would just be the cherry on the top. This one is a big money card, $233. Holy smokes, there's a big money card. If you took away the Pikachu from this set and you just had this, I'd be like, this is a really strong performance set, right? We've got the Milotic at $140 odd. We've got this Latias at $233, and you'd be like, wow, yeah, that's incredible. We're not talking about the $500 Pikachu, right? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, this card has actually dipped. It did actually go as high as 270, and it has fallen a little bit since, but it is still doing very, very well. So let's see what they have to say here. So they talked about the Latias coming in at just over $250, while the Hydreigon recrossed the $100 mark as it climbed from an $85 market price last week to $105, which is pretty good. Like I say, the Pikachu is a $500 card. This is, $230. That's a lot of value. That's a lot of value. Then we got the Pikachu from Crown Zenith. This one's a really interesting one. This one kind of took me by surprise. So about a month ago, I did a video on like cards to buy, and I suggested this Pikachu, and it was $8 at the time. So I was like, guys, pick it up. It's $8. It's such a good card. Yeah, it's quite easy to pull, but Crown Zenith is getting more expensive, and this is just an awesome card. It was $8. Now it's $16, and it's actually dropped a little bit. It did actually go up to above 20. So it's already double what I said a month ago when to pick it up. And now look at it. I mean, the fact is that it even went up to above $20, like nearly pushing $22. For me, that is a big sign that this is going to be a big, heavy hitter moving forward. Crown Zenith is making moves right across the board. Seal products going up. Seal card prices are going up. Pikachu is going up. Beautiful card though. Really, really nice. So it says here, you know, not many people can afford a $500 Pikachu, but you can still get the Pikachu, of course, from Crown Zenith. I think this one is just a phenomenal one. It climbed from $8 to an $18 market price. This is what I was saying. It was $8 when I suggested it, and now it's starting to climb. Keep an eye on that one. Bubble Mew. This one, look, I like to say little pats on back on this one. I predicted this one in a live stream, again, probably about a month ago, probably just over a month ago now, 2 months ago maybe. I said that this card at the time is $90. I was like, keep an eye on the Bubble Mew, because I have a feeling it will not only will overtake the Charizard, but I had the feeling that it would be one of the most expensive cards of the Scarlet and Violet era. And that was when the card was $90 and the Charizard was $110. And that was when I suggested it, right? I was like, keep an eye on it, guys. You know, if you don't have it yet, maybe look at picking it up, because under $100, I felt like it was a steal. The reason why I said that was because we had opened up a ton of Paldean Fates. I mean, so many packs. Well over 1,000, right? And we have not pulled this card once. I was like, this card is so tough to pull. There is no way this is under a $100 card. It's like $265 right now. Okay? $265. So when it was $90, around here, so around October. So yeah, about 2 months ago, so it was about right. It was about $90. And then this happened. And it did reach over $300 for this card. Incredible. The PSA 10 price went absolutely crazy as well. It is dipped a little bit. This is a huge card. One of the biggest cards in the Scarlet and Violet era right now. It is so, so good. $300, that's the new price of the Ultra Chase Special Illustration Rare for Paldean Fates. We are really seeing some unprecedented stuff here. Paldean Fates released this year, and yet a near mint copy of the Mew can't be found for less than $300 before the close of the year. It's just incredible. Right? It's just incredible, you know, and it crossed over that $100 threshold in October. And yeah, now it's dipped a little bit from that 300, but it's definitely a big one, and over to the Charizard, of course. We've got the I'm Valiant EX. Now, I actually bought this at a card show earlier this year, and I'm trying to think how much I paid for it. I think I paid like $28 was how much I paid for this. I just really like the artwork. That's pretty much the only reason why I brought it. I was like, it's got my boy T-Tar in it. It's super colorful. It's got multiple Pokemon. It ticks all the boxes for me of why I wanted this card. So let's see what's been going on with the I'm Valiant. $32. Okay, so it has actually gone up. So when I bought it at 28, I felt kind of it was an expensive buy, right? It was quite pricey, you know. But it has actually bounced. It's done well, you know. It's around $19, $20 for the longest time, and now we're looking at $32. It is on the climb from Paradox. Now a lot of cards in Paradox haven't been doing that great, but this one's been doing pretty well. So overall, like looking at this card, it says it climbed from $20 all the way up to $30 over the past week, which is really, really good. And it's also said the double rare printing of the Goldengo EX, which I believe it's just the regular EX, which I talked about on the stream. Yeah, this one is insane. Can we see the price of this one? Look at this just for a normal EX. Look at that. It just went from like a $1-2 card to nearly $10. Golden Cheese String coming in strong. Paradox Rift has actually got some really pricey cards in it that you might not expect. Like there's a lot of illustration rares and normal EXs. I guess it's got a lot of highly playable cards that have just jumped up like no tomorrow. So very, very interesting. But this one's on the climb. Keep an eye on this one. I'll rate this. Right, the next movers and shakers. This was about a week or so ago. We got the low-end exeggutor, a different long neck boy, not the real long neck boy. A low-end exeggutor, $97. Again, another big heavy hitter from Surging Sparks. It did actually reach just over $100. And it's quite interesting because, like, when you open up the packs, right, and you see that border, and then you open up the pack, and then you see this boy. I know a lot of people to begin with was like, oh, the dud. Oh, I mean, it could have been a Pikachu, fair enough, but everyone's like, oh, you know, they don't feel that great. And that was probably when it was sat around that $40, $50 mark. Now it's doubled in price. Do people feel the same now? Probably not, right? Probably really happy pulling this long neck boy. So we got here the longest necked Pokemon in the game. Oh, he's the real long neck boy. Straight from the Lowen Islands. He became the 6th card from Surgeon Sparks across over $100. That is, look, I know a lot of people say, Jace, you're chatting crap or whatever, but that's like nearly Evolving Skies level. Nearly. And, you know, obviously the Pikachu's, you know, around 500. Yeah, we know about the Pikachu, but this one going over $100. I mean, it's dipped a little bit, but that's really, really good. Like, that's insane to have 6 cards that reached over $100 in a set. Like I said, most sets don't even have a card over $100. It takes time. It's just, this set is just next level, right? Pikachu EX, now we just got the normal, like, full art, crystal, shiny version of Pikachu, not the gold, not the SIR, just the, I say normal version, but the next one up, the ultra rare, right? This one's done well. Again, this is just like basically like a full art, right? $23 up to above $40. We've nearly seen it double in price. This is a huge card to get. I mean, even a $40 card in another set is a big chase card, right? Just next level stuff. So it says here, personally, I think that the next printing of Pikachu is the most appealing from a financial perspective. It bottomed out around $25 several weeks after Surgeon Sparks release, but then since then it has been slowly and steadily climbing. Today, you can get a copy for around $45. I mean, it's just the amount of money, the amount of value. I know it's expensive, like the boxes, but the amount of value that you can get out of Surgeon, it's good stuff. It really is good stuff. Then we got the proper chonkachu, and it makes sense that the chonkachu's climbing, right? We've had Surgeon Sparks just see, well, just an absolute boom. Price is going crazy. Booster box is going crazy. Everyone's on that Pikachu hype train. It kind of makes sense that the chonkachu's finally rising, right? We go back over the past year, and this card hasn't done much. It did rise up to around 130, and then it dipped again, and then it's back up again. This card's been bouncing around like a yo-yo from Vivid Voltage. This, to me, is like, in my eyes, like still the true chase chonkachu, like the Rainbow Pikachu, more so than Surgeon Sparks, just because of how difficult it is to pull. Like, never ever pulled it ever. This very large, very maxed Pikachu actually used to be worth quite a bit. It sold for over $300 in the months from its release. That was during the height of the pandemic. Vivid Voyage was massively hyped. It was like nearly $200 a box, £200 a box. It was just next level stuff back then. It really, really did. End of 2024, sitting around $100, so it went from $300 down to $100. And like I said, it sat there for a longest time. It's now creeping back up, I think, with all this hype of Pikachu madness. There's the long neck boy I've been talking about. Raging Bolt, Temporal. Temporal is my dark horse set of the era. That's the one I'm gonna go for, right? I think it's gonna do very well. And no, before anybody says I don't have like a ton of Temporal Forces I'm wanting to pump up, I actually don't. It's one of the fewest sealed sets that I have, right? Which is kind of weird, but I do want to get more. $108. Over the past 3 months, you know, gone from 67 up to 110. Since its release, it's done really well. You know, Long Neck Boy, I mean, it's all competitive play. I know that's why they had that jump from that $40, $50 mark up to 100. And then it trickled down as a lot of packs get opened. The hype wasn't really there, and now it's time to go back up, and it's all-time high, which is very, very impressive. So it says here, you know, Temporal Forces is a recent set. It released 9 months ago, back in March. Wow, time absolutely flies. We do have this Long Neck Boy. It said had a wild run since it dipped down to $67 back in late September. Since then, it has been on a tear, getting up to around $106, which is very good. It surpassed some of the other cards in the set, like the Iron Crown, which was at the top for a period of time. And now Raging Bolt is doing well. But other cards in the set, keep an eye out on Temporal. Walking Wake, Iron Crown, my boy Entei, Gouging Fire, even Iron Leaves, all making moves. So keep an eye out on them. I think it could be a good one in the future. Umbreon V. So we're not talking about the big Moonbreon. We got the mini Moonbreon, I guess. This one's my favorite out of the two of them. I do have the other in a PSA 10. I don't own this one. And this one's actually my favorite artwork. $187. Big money card. Over the past 3 months, it's been doing bits. So it's an interesting thing with the Umbreon, especially this one in particular. Obviously, Evolving Skies across the board has been doing well, right? But this one was just kind of set in the shadows. It wasn't really doing much for a long time. It was always bouncing around, threatening to get close to 100, but didn't. And then there was a big spike, and at the time, I know that there was a video PokeRev put out, and he said this was his favorite card in the set, or favorite version of Umbreon. And I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, bad timing, whatever it is. We saw the card like pretty much more than double in value overnight. It was very weird timing. And then it sat there for a while, nearly $200, and then it started to dip, and now it's starting to climb back up. So I feel like this normal climb back up is just the natural growth of the card now. And that is because if you look at the rest of Evolving Skies, at this time, when this jump happened, Evolving Skies was in its plateau stage. It was where it was kind of just sat there. The Umbreon, the other Umbreon, the big one, was kind of just sat there for a bit, in fact, dropping in price. Same with like Seal Product and all the other big old arts. But for some reason, this had this jump. So this one was a bit unnatural. This here is more natural. And, we're starting to see it. It will be $200 or over $200 pretty much before we know it, which is pretty awesome. And of course, across the board, Evolving Skies has been going crazy. It's like $1,000 a box now. Yeah, we got a $1,400 Umbreon. Guys, it's all happening. And then finally, the movers and shakers of the past week. This will be the final one we're going to do. We're looking at Evolving Skies. Just as a booster box, not even a card. We're just looking at the booster box right now. And this big boy is nearly approaching $1,000, which is next level stuff, right? I did say, like my prediction, I did a video recently, and I did a prediction where at the start of the year, I thought this would be about $700 to $800 box. Now, bear in mind, we go back a year, it was about $430. I was like, you know what? Doubling in value would be very impressive. Like if it gets to like around 800, that's very impressive. I didn't expect it to get to nearly 1,000. I did say that the booster box would be over 1,000, and then I said, actually, I think it'll be on the same level as team up prices in the future, but I didn't expect it to happen this fast. I really, really didn't. Over the past 3 months, the booster box went from 700, where I thought, 700, where I thought it would be, up to nearly 1,000 in 3 months. That's gaining $100 in value per month. If this continued, like let's just say this continued into 2025, where it went up by, $100 per month, we're looking at a 2.2k booster box by the end of 2025. Is that possible, guys? Do you reckon it's possible? I think it could be. I think it really could be, but that would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty crazy. It's showing off all the terrestrial festival cards, of course, because Prismatic Eeveelutions is coming out in January. That's going to be a super hype Eevee set. Kind of on the same levels as Evolving Skies, although it's a specialty set, not a booster box set. I feel like if it was a booster box set, it would be an Evolving Skies 2.0. But it's going to perform very well. It's like I said, the pre-orders are it's pretty much sold out everywhere. Here in the UK, they're really limiting how much people can order. You can't really order more than one of each product, or maybe two of each product, and that is it. So yeah, I mean, I've had orders cancelled, a lot of orders cancelled. It's tough. It is tough. Even though it's got a long release window, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, the Japanese one is crushing it right now. It's doing really well. Sylveon V, I actually have this. I got this. This one's going to be sent off to PSA to get graded, so it's nice to see this one climbing. I picked it up ages ago. Can't remember how much I picked it up for now, but I picked it up a long time ago. Sylveon's my favorite evolution. That's why I picked it up. And yeah, it's doing really well. Nearly $100 raw over the past year. Wow, we saw around 50. Did approach nearly 100. Then it dipped, and then it's going back up again. This is a stunning card. I absolutely love it. And you're going to see a lot of evolutions across the board, especially from Evolving Skies, keep climbing. You just are. It's unfortunately the way it goes. Then we got the Lisia Vmax. This is actually one of my least favorite OR Vmaxes. I actually don't like this one at all. $300, pretty huge, right? Over the past 3 months, it's definitely made some gains. Over the past year, it was $350. So it's trying to make its comeback, and it's getting there. It's slowly getting there. It did have a huge jump earlier this year, and now look at it. So it's on the come up, right? It's doing okay. But yeah, $300 probably will get there. Glaceon, again, beautiful card. I prefer this than the Leafeon. It's got some work put up for it. It's kind of getting there. It did reach a high of over $300 in the summer. Then it dropped from $315, dropped over $100 in value. Ouch. And now it's bounced back up to $260. So it's on its way. I mean, anything Evolving Skies is like, just gold dust at this point. It's just insane. Lisia's Appeal. So we've got one that's fallen. So we've been looking at ones that keep going up. Or what about one that keeps, well, not necessarily keeps going down, but is going down? $61. Ouch. Surging Sparks. I did talk about how good Surging Sparks was, you know, when we went through all the other cards from the set. This one's been doing the opposite. Look at that. It went from $160 down to $60. Maybe the, you know, the female trainer tax is slowly fading. Maybe. Iono's fallen as well. You know, Miriam, stuff like that. Maybe people just fell up with them. 60, went up to about 70, and is now continuing to fall. I think it will. I think this one will continue to fall. I wouldn't be surprised if it will go under $50 before we know it, really. We have this one. We already talked about the Milotic. Obviously, you know, because we look at different articles, we did talk about the Milotic already. And that is it, guys. So some big heavy movers to keep an eye out for. I think Temporal's definitely making some moves. Obviously, of course, Surging Sparks of On Sky is kind of obvious, right? But there's some big movements. You know, we talked about the Pikachu from Crown Zenith and the Bubble Mute from Paldean Fates. There you have it, guys. Those are the big market movers to close out the year. Real big, juicy stuff, to be honest. 2025, I think, is going to be an incredible year. This year has been incredible, and we're starting to see cards from sets that, you know, even if they're old, right? The Pikachu from Crown Zenith is quite old, making huge gains. Of course, Evolving Sky is kind of obvious. If that wasn't going up, we'd be thinking something's wrong. Surging Sparks has came out, you know, guns blazing. It's been doing absolutely incredible. So keep an eye out of these cards and what is to come over the next few months going into 2025. Will things cool off? I think it'll be a while. Just because of how much hype the future sets are coming, right? Prismatic, Team Rocket, you know, Black and White, Trainer Pokemon, all this sort of stuff. Like, all of that's going to be going crazy. You may see some other sets start to slip, right? If all the focus is on the new product or the incoming product, you might see some of the other sets start to have less hype, less interest, and may start to drop a little bit. But you got to keep an eye on it, right? Things change quite drastically, as we've seen in the market. If you made this far in the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments with the big market movers. Was there any that took you by surprise? For me, I was actually surprised about the Crown Zenith Pikachu, right? You know, I mentioned about picking up for $8, seeing it reach 20 in a matter of weeks with some scary stuff. I was like, holy smokes, what is going on? So yeah, that one kind of surprised me there. But that is it from me, guys, in today's video. For more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I will see you in the next one.